Hello, Stephanie Joy with All Things Social Security. We had a Q&A with a short little clip discussion on a particular topic. So I'm going to attach it for you here. It might be something that you're interested in if you clicked on this header. And following that, we're going to go through it a little bit more. So just wanted to give you the heads up. This is where it started from, and then we'll have the bigger discussion right after. All right, chat with you later. Bye-bye. Point says, I was under the impression that anyone who is approved will be able to sign up for Medicare, but I believe I saw something somewhere that you posted that said there's a waiting period. There is a waiting period. There might be one severe impairment or two or three that doesn't require waiting for Medicare. And I want to say it's something like ALS, like it's something that's probably terminal, not really probably. And I want to say that's the one, but I can't say for sure because I haven't looked it up in a long time. But that one might not have a wait because there just is no time for that business. But yeah, we went over this last week. I don't know. I think you were here. You need to have received constructively or otherwise 24 months worth of Social Security disability. And then you are eligible for Medicare like the following month. So whether or not that happens during your pending claim, like your case takes 3 years and you win on the original date you said, they owe you 2 years and 7 months worth of benefits. That is certainly more than 24 months, right? And you would have been retroactively eligible for Medicare. And then, of course, they want you to pay for the retroactive Medicare coverage, which people get a little annoyed about because, let's face it, you didn't get to use it, right? But there's a reason why you still might want to consider allowing them to take the premium for those extra months, or all the months, I should say, out of your back benefits. Story for another day, though, right? If it's in the narrative, I think it's stronger because it comes right out of the doctor's mouth. But if you at least have it that you complained, even though he doesn't address it later on at the visit, at least later on, some judge is going to see that you are complaining about this pain at every appointment, for every appointment, even though the doctor doesn't talk about it. But at least it throws a little monkey wrench in there, a little question, at the very least. Hey there, that was one of our little Q&A clips. I hope you found it informative or helpful or just enjoyable. I am attaching a related video that we have put together a while back that is on a similar topic and or an extension of what we were just talking about. So if you needed some more information on that, that's a place to start. You can also look in our playlists. There is a ton of them. I think there's over 1,000 videos. So there's almost every topic in the world touched upon in some way, shape, or form. And again, as a reminder, you can always put in the comments any kind of question you have, even if it's unrelated to this or any other video. I will talk to you later. Carry on. Hey, so this is largely a Medicare alert for my clients, but I thought it would be helpful for people that aren't clients of mine, perhaps, who are just unaware, maybe they're pro ses. Anyway, generally speaking, if you have prevailed on a Social Security disability claim, you are either now or in time, if you remain disabled, and some additional exceptions, you're going to be eligible for Medicare. So not having to wait till 65 to get Medicare is kind of a huge thing. In my experience, sometimes the Medicare benefits are worth more than the cash benefits that the Social Security disability is providing. So it can be huge. So the general rule is after you have received 24 months worth of benefits, I say worth of benefits, because it's not that you necessarily have to wait 24 months from the time you get your first check, which could be a back benefits check. So you need to look at your onset date, consider your 5-month waiting period that you endured. And when you see what the back benefits check was, generally a letter from SSA is going to tell you what months it covers, which is going to be after that waiting period, that 5-month waiting period has been calculated. So the 24 months may have already occurred. You could have had a back benefit check of 30 months, 40 months. That means you are already eligible for Medicare immediately. Sometimes someone has to wait a little bit. Sometimes it's right about when they win or prevail, and other times they've been now retroactively eligible. I'll have a different, very brief video on the decisions to make when you are retroactively eligible for Medicare, and you have to decide whether to allow them to give it to you retroactively, which I know is a little counterintuitive, because as you know, there is a premium to be paid for every month of Medicare. So if it's going to be retroactively provided, and there are reasons for that, they will be taking those monthly premiums out of your back benefit check generally to pay for those. You're not mandatorily obligated, but you need to learn the cons of not taking Medicare when you can, and when those consequences will apply to you and be costly for you later. Okay, so that's something to keep aware of now that you've prevailed. And if you need any more guidance or someone to speak to learn a little bit more, just let me know. I could share, whoever I know with regard to that. I personally don't do Medicare, so that's a whole different area of law. And I just try to get you to the point where you have prevailed on your Social Security disability claim. Okay, Medicare. Find out when you are eligible and don't drop the ball unless you have reason to, because you've already learned all of the different repercussions, pros and cons, etc. Okay, all righty. Congratulations. Hello again. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful, if not just a little bit informative. In the event you have a Social Security question you want addressed, please feel free to make a comment below and ask the question, even if nothing to do with this particular video. And just a quick, again, reminder, we have our daily video shares and tips around noon every day of the week. And on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our live Q&A session where you can come in live and enter your questions in the chat. And we all pretty much have a good time for an hour or two. I look forward to seeing you there, hopefully. And lastly, don't forget about our benefactor memberships. They're very reasonably priced. The first one is very nominal, and you get a few perks, but on a bigger scale, it contributes to us being able to fulfill a mission of assisting certain people with representation that would otherwise not be able to get it. We look forward to continuing to do that, and so far it's working out like the bomb. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Bye-bye now.